Sir, you're making the guests uncomfortable. I'm going to have to ask you to leave. The manager's voice sliced through the golden silence of La Belle Maison, New York's most exclusive restaurant. The man standing near the reservation desk looked like he hadn't eaten a decent meal in weeks. His gray hoodie was faded, jeans torn, and his shoes barely holding together. Yet there was something in his eyes, a calm power, like someone who had seen the world from angles most people couldn't imagine. 8:57 p.m. Friday night. Every table at La Belle Maison sparkled with crystal glasses and murmurs of wealth. Behind the reception counter stood Brandon, the young manager in his sleek navy suit. "Sir," Brandon repeated, forcing a smile that didn't reach his eyes, "this establishment has a strict dress code. You can't dine here." The man looked up. His voice was quiet, but firm. "I made a reservation under the name Eli Carter." Brandon chuckled softly, glancing at the other staff. "Eli Carter? That's impossible. Our VIP list doesn't include people like you." A soft laugh rose from the bar corner, where a few guests had started watching. The hostess, Maya, frowned slightly. "Brandon, maybe you should just check." "I said he doesn't belong here," Brandon interrupted sharply. Eli stood still, his hands resting on the worn backpack hanging from his shoulder. He had just flown in from San Francisco. His day had been long. Meetings. He had come here for one reason, to see how this place treated people who didn't look rich enough to matter. "I just want a table," Eli said calmly. "I'll pay whatever it costs." Brandon smirked. "Oh, I'm sure you will. Maybe with Monopoly money?" The laughter from the nearby tables grew louder. A waiter whispered, "Why don't we just call security?" "Go ahead," Brandon said proudly. "This is La Belle Maison, not a soup kitchen." At the far corner, an elderly couple, Henry and Margaret, watched the scene unfold. Margaret leaned toward her husband. "He seems so polite, Henry. Why are they humiliating him?" Henry sighed, pulling out his phone. "Because they think money defines manners." Maya stepped closer to Eli, whispering, "Sir, please, maybe you should go. My boss won't listen. He's difficult." Eli smiled faintly. "It's okay. I've dealt with people like him my whole life." Then, turning to Brandon, he said softly, "Are you sure you don't want to check the reservation? It might save you some trouble." Brandon laughed. "The only trouble here is you." He waved to the security guard. "Get this man out." Before the guard could move, another voice echoed from behind the bar. "Wait!" The general manager, Melissa Grant, a woman in her 40s with sharp eyes and sharper instincts, had entered the room. "What's going on here?" she demanded. Brandon straightened immediately. "This man's causing a disturbance. Says he has a reservation." Melissa glanced at Eli. Something about him seemed off. Not in a bad way, just out of place. "What's your name, sir?" "Eli Carter." She pulled out her tablet, scrolling through the system. Her fingers froze mid-motion. A reservation was there. Executive suite, private table, paid in advance. But that wasn't what stunned her. The note attached to the reservation read, "Reserved under personal supervision. No special treatment requested. E." Melissa's eyes widened. EC? Those initials matched Eli Carter, founder and CEO of Carter Capital Holdings, the billionaire investor who had just purchased the restaurant chain 2 weeks ago. "Brandon," Melissa said slowly, "do you realize who this is?" Brandon frowned. "Yeah, some guy pretending to be rich." "Wrong." Melissa's voice hardened. "He's your new employer." The silence that followed was painful. The waiter dropped a glass. It shattered across the marble floor. Brandon blinked, his mouth half open. That can't be real." Eli reached into his backpack and pulled out a slim leather folder. Inside was the official acquisition document, signed, sealed, and dated. Carter Capital Holdings. Full acquisition of La Belle Maison Group, September 18th, 2025. "You bought?" Brandon stammered. "This restaurant?" Eli smiled. "Actually, all 15 of them." Melissa stepped aside respectfully. I'm sorry, Mr. Carter. We didn't know. It's okay, Eli replied gently. You weren't the problem. His eyes turned to Brandon, who was now sweating through his designer shirt. Tell me, Brandon, Eli said quietly, do you treat every person who walks in like this? Or only the ones who don't fit your picture of success? Brandon swallowed hard. I was just following policy. No, Eli interrupted. You were following prejudice. Margaret spoke up from her table. We recorded everything, she said firmly. The way he talked to you, the way everyone laughed. You should know, Mr. Carter, not everyone here agrees with this kind of behavior. Eli nodded. Thank you, ma'am. I appreciate that. Eli turned to the small crowd that had gathered. Here's what most people forget, he said, his tone calm but cutting through the silence. Money doesn't buy character. Uniforms don't make professionals. And respect, he paused, should never be something people have to earn based on how they look. He faced Brandon again. You're fired, effective immediately. Brandon's eyes widened. Wait, you can't! Oh, I can, and I will. He turned to the security guard. Escort Mr. Brandon out, and make sure he's treated kindly, something he couldn't manage himself. The room was dead silent. As Brandon was led out, Maya stepped forward nervously. Sir, I'm really sorry. I tried to help, but… Eli smiled. I know, you spoke up when others stayed quiet. That's what matters. He pulled out a card and handed it to her. Come see me Monday morning. I'm appointing a new manager. I think you'll do great. Her eyes widened, tears glistening. Thank you, sir. Henry raised his glass from the corner table. Later that night, when the restaurant had emptied, Melissa approached Eli quietly. May I ask, why did you come here like that? Eli looked out the window at the glowing skyline of Manhattan. Because money can build walls as easily as it builds bridges, he said. I wanted to see what kind of people were guarding mine. Melissa nodded slowly. And what will you do now? Eli smiled faintly. Start with training. Real training. Not for how to fold napkins or pour wine, but how to treat people. He glanced at the La Belle Maison sign shining above the door. Because a restaurant that forgets humanity doesn't deserve fine dining. It deserves a lesson. As Eli walked out into the cool night air, he slipped on his hood again. To most passers-by, he still looked like just another tired man wandering the city. But inside, he carried the quiet satisfaction of someone who didn't need to shout to be heard. Because true power doesn't come from money. It comes from character, patience, and the courage to stand quietly until the truth speaks for itself. Never judge people by their appearance. The person you look down upon today might own everything you stand on tomorrow.